Okay. Okay, friends. So we're going to talk today about one of the things that I regard as like our ability to express the morality side of yoga and the humanistic side of yoga. And it's about a subject, if one is sick or old, can't he practice yoga? Because as we know that in today's world, the yoga is expressed or understood or imaged as something that all the young and healthy people are practicing, mainly focusing on yoga asanas. And when we're talking about yoga, we're thinking about slim, healthy, young women or men practicing stretching, doing various asanas. We see yoga competitions all around, which is everything's okay, but still, is the real essence of yoga being kept when we are talking about that? Now, of course, we know that yoga is not only asanas, and there are a lot of other sides to this practice or this subject or this darshan or philosophy. But when you come and put it in a practical way of life, not only about theories, we want to see whether we are able to practice this profession or this subject in a way that puts it into connection into life. Can yoga be held as something that is helping people during their whole life, despite changes? And as we know, even if we practice yoga all day, eat a very healthy food, and do whatever we can do to practice our health, we might be more healthy, we might feel better, we might even live for longer. But not everybody, and not always, it's always things that we can manage or govern. And naturally, all of us at the end of the day will become old and will become on the way, maybe sick, but will leave this worldly life. So yes, can yoga that we used to practice before help us when we become older or sick? And I want to start by mentioning a student that I had. His name is Idan Sneer, and he died from cancer at the age of 21. And I'm here like I was a yoga student and teacher. I had my own things, but I came and I understood that yoga is mainly meant for people that can practice it, and for people that cannot practice it during class, they then just have to go away. And he was part of a yoga class that we took together, and then I taught it myself. And he became ill. And when he became ill, he started realizing that he can't do all the practices during this yoga class. And then there was a problem. Can't he? And he was really young and handsome and strong, and he just became ill from a cancerous disease, oncological disease. And the question was, can't he be part of the yoga life? Can't he enjoy these advantages of practice that he enjoyed little before? And when his disease came to be like more severe, he can't practice it. And then we separated from the class, him and me, and then we went to some forest and natural surroundings, and we practiced yoga that is suitable for his needs, and we did some adaptations towards his needs. And then I came to realize that trying to develop or understand this kind of adaptations that will allow other people or people that are not lucky enough to enjoy the general yoga practice. And this is vastly and mostly important in order to put the yoga practice into real life. So everyone and each one can enjoy the joy and honey of yoga. Now, anyone can practice yoga regardless of age, health, sex, personal condition, economical or social status, nationality, and everything. But is that really true? We see that in today's yoga profession or yoga situation or yoga field, we see many, as I said, boundaries that we don't want to see. in this kind of open practice. As I said, we see age and health related matters. We see sex matters, even though women are very, very fond in yoga. But like 100 years back, even less than that, women had some problems with joining yoga classes. The first woman that was like, for example, being accepted to one of the known yoga teachers of the modern era is Krishnamacharya, was a woman that he didn't want to accept because women were out of. And so are we are we just excluding or putting boundaries into this practice? We have some personal conditions or economical, people can't pay for practices. We know that I was first time that I came to India, I was asking, I was sure that all people are practicing yoga there in the streets. And I was asking one friend, and he told me, people are poor, not rich enough, or they are poor. They don't have time to practice yoga. They have to work for their living. So personal condition and economical or social status that when yoga joins to religion and we have some kind of separations, not all people can join yoga classes. Nationality, of course, some in some countries, for example, years back in Russia, for example, yoga was not legal. So is it really boundaryless, open, free subject, or is it limiting us once again? And now, the practical expression of the highest moral value of yoga is in the compassion towards every person as a prominent means of reducing suffering. Now, we know, I know, all of us know, as practitioners of yoga, that the yoga is helpful so that when we are in pain or agony, when we suffer from some kind of diseases, when we have small or big ones, life-risking diseases or any other conditions, yoga can help us. But does this subject touch the life of other people that needs it as well? And as I said before, limitations and boundaries stop yoga from being explored or given or practiced by other people. And I remember my first teacher, you can call it, I'm not coming from a guru sishya kind of a culture, but my teacher here, he was an old man. He really had some kind of addiction to spread yoga. He wanted many people to get it, and he was really forcing people or trying to help people to take yoga practice into their lives. He was like a kind of a religion person, like having Hatha Yoga or the yoga practice as his religion. He said, "This is the way to help people. This is the way to help humanity. This is the way to help people."
मेंटल हेल्थ योगा या पेपर में
Hello, hello. Can you
कौन
please mute yourself because we cannot hear?
माता जी हैं
So as I said, I will repeat
किसको
once
बताऊंगी
again.
किसको बांधी दी है?
वही गई है पता है सुन
Okay.
देखो तो
Can you please mute
पाठक को
yourself?
बांधी
I
दी
will mute you from here. Okay. Okay. And so as I said before in the beginning of my talk, uh, trying and allowing various kind of people to practice yoga, to enjoy what yoga has to give, is as a way to reduce suffering, is a very, very, very dominant expression of its moral part. Now, the way to do that seems like, we have today courses for yoga for IBP. We have yoga for this, yoga for that. But the main thing of adaptation of regular yoga practice to people is using PMS. PMS, physical, mental, and structural adaptations. Physical, mental, and structural adaptations. Now, how can we adapt? Should we be only yoga teachers that teaches asana for a problem? Like if you have this, you can practice that, or if you have this, you can practice that. And we are just giving or teaching the technical point of view or some technical things that are we know reasonably, rationally, due to our understanding that are good for some situation, or for, let's say, people that are really, really regular in practicing yoga? Can they make the adaptations with the aid of a yoga professional by themselves? And can the yoga professionals make the adaptations without technical forms, but mainly from understanding general limitations, but mainly from understanding the essence of this yoga practice and the essence of the specific practitioner or student that they have? And so, in my attitude and the way I was taught yoga, the adaptation of regular yoga practice is mainly a tailored practice that is the fruit of the regular practice that the practitioner is doing and the teacher is doing. Now, today people can, go and join a TTC after maybe doing some 7 days course or a short while, even not that, and they can go for a practice and then they learn the yoga asanas and the yoga philosophy and some connections to health, and then they start teaching. But the way we were taught yoga is that we start by being students. We couldn't go for any TTC before being a student for at least 1 year. Being a student, since you are going to a regular class, you're having your teacher, you have to be connected to that class, you have to be devoted to that class, you have to give your time, you have to face difficulties, frustrations of doing all your classes. And the way we are teaching, and I was taught and I'm teaching today yoga, is that classes are generally the same ones over and over again. They're repeatedly being taught as same classes. So students have the chance to view a regular class and to repeat it by themselves to themselves, taking into account their changes because practice is constant. But student, he is changing, like we are changing, but the practice is not changing. And then we have to adapt. How do we adapt? By intuition and understanding deeply what is yoga practice all about. What do we want from that? We don't have to know all the information that is given in the book. As somebody smart said, that yoga is 99% practice and 1% theory. So when you come to a yoga class and you regular over and over again, once and again, once and all over again, repeatedly doing the same practice, you come to understand. And I will tell you a story about someone who is just doing it and just as soon. So this is the big question: how? How do we do? How do we adapt? And I say that we have two kinds of students. One that is coming to us just when he has problems and he wants yoga to help him, and the other one that comes to yoga because he came there before. He had maybe the luck or the courage or the brain. Hi, hello. And to come to yoga before, and still he's there, and then he has the fruits. Hello, Kavita. I mean, kindly mute yourself. Hello, and so how do we do it? So I just say two kind of students. Ones that come when they are sick and they want us to help them. The other one that the students of yoga and then they become sick or old and they have to adapt. If they are good yoga students, they want, even if they will become sick, the sickness will be like it won't destroy their life totally, like it would destroy other people. They will be more able to cope, even if not, you can say beat it, but live more peacefully with it despite the difficulties, the sufferings. This is in general, I think. So, what's the way to do it? It's by understanding, experiencing, general basic and practical method of the yoga practice. And as I said, fruits of practice, and especially group practice. When you experience all over and over again the general basics of practical methods of yoga, when you practice in a very constant way, when you repeat, when your devotion expresses in coming to a yoga class and joining it, even if in days that you don't wanna, or it's hot or it's cold, and you're a bit tired or you have difficulties and you don't have the money to afford it, and the teacher annoys, I mean, not annoys you, but disturbs your, bores you, whatever, and you're still there in a regular pattern, then you can join fruits of practice. And the fruits of practice, and especially group practice, are really, really taken not only when you are young, but when you become a little older and you face life difficulties, diseases, and problems. Now, I'm talking about group practice because we know we all, I'm doing it too. People are coming to private sessions when we are adapting and making their own practice, or you can call it therapy, and we are totally adapting it towards their personal needs. But there is some, you can say, advantages of a personal one-to-one, one-on-one practice, but some of them really, really doesn't help. People are clients, they become and they are being the central of a thing that is all around them. And the best thing for us to learn is when we are connected to other people, when we learn as a community, when we are part of a group, and then we face a lot of challenges of our ego, challenges of our body, challenges of our mind, the intention to compare, the ability afterwards less to compare, the ability to keep inwards, introverted instead of extroverted when we are in a group. We face many social and like, let's say it's connected to the structure challenges, and then we become much better yogis. So personally, and like my teacher and like his teacher, we believe in group practices where people come and practice together. And if everyone slowly suits his body and his mind and his abilities and his pranayamas and meditations and his shavasanas to his personal abilities, limitation, age matters, and he changes as his body changes, as his mind changes, while the practice is constant, and then real adaptations happens. And the yoga teacher is there to instruct, to explain, to help, to assist, to encourage, but not to give a technical solution of do this, do that, this will help you. I'm not sure that this really always helps. I want you to meet Hannah. Hannah is my student. As you see, she is not an 18 years old lady. She is practicing yoga for 40 years with the same teacher. He was our teacher, and when he passed away, he asked me to keep the students with me. He's like, I think, one of first Israel's. I'm surely like he had mass majority of students, many students all over the place, especially in Haifa district, which is in North Israel, and she was practicing with him for around 40 years. She came every week or almost every week when she could, and she practiced yoga with him. And today I'm not teaching yoga in chairs for this class. We are giving the same structural practice that was given 40 and 50 years back. And she knew herself by understanding, due to her fruits of her practice, to adapt the yoga practice for her life. Like she took a chair because she can't now use the mat. She can't stand on the mat. She can't practice Surya Namaskars. She can't practice like regular sitting asanas or lying down asanas, whatever. And so she used the chair. Many difficulties and problems can arise during years, like coming up from the mat to the chair and everything. So she took a chair and she made her own practice. And I saw her and I told her, Hannah, what are you doing? And she said, I know what to do. And I was silently and quietly started to observe her, and I saw she is really taking the asanas that I never taught her do that way. Like she never got any technique from me, and she's doing it in the correct way. I saw her pattern of breathing. I saw a pace of practice. I saw the real essence of yoga asanas and vinyasas that we are doing, and pranayamas and savasana we are doing. And she really adapted it to herself based on her experience. And the experience, she's not a yoga teacher. She didn't do any TTC. She hardly knows any, to talk about philosophy, but she understands yoga really because she's 40 years there. And so she has the ability, despite of her abilities, disabilities, she has the ability, despite of her matters and age-related things and everything, to practice yoga on her own with the group, using a methodology that she developed based on understanding the practice for herself. And so the main thing related to our yoga practice is to try and be students as long as we can in a very constant way. Don't go to courses, have a TTC, only start teaching without practicing for yourself. Try and find some kind of a constant teacher that will teach you on a constant basis. Try and be connected to that teacher. Don't go from here to there, from there to here, from this organization to that place, from this district to that. Don't change because of the weather. Just be constant and you will bear the fruits. And for young students or for new students, as I would say, that are coming to us, or maybe it's ourselves, when we have problems and we are young, or starters or just starting. And starters are in yoga are people that are practicing for 10 years. They're starters. We hardly know anything from 10 years of practicing yoga, even though we could pass all exams and know all the theories by heart, because we have to understand it and imbibe it. If you're in that situation and you do suffer from a problem, yoga can really help you. But mainly try and focus and do something on a frequent basis. Try and do some practice that you adopt on a frequent basis and do it regularly, daily or almost daily. Try and have your yoga routine which is constant. Don't shift. Don't go every day to this or that asana and everything. Just really be very constant with what you are doing, and you will bear the fruits. Because we can say that as our body changes, our you can call it inner self or the inner reality is always constant. It never changes. It is always there, and so is our practice. Our practice is constant, and this reflects the never changing reality, and we are changing. We prakriti, we are changing always, and comparing to that. So keep on practicing and enjoy yoga and take it into life and bear the fruits. I'm sure about that. Any questions, friends? Someone wants to add something, to ask, to remark.
Um, if you have a mixed group where like people of proper abilities are also doing and somebody who's slightly sick and requires modifications to do, what is the gentle way to guide so that they don't feel in any way like
Yeah. Thank you for your question. This is really a right thing to do, and it's really like I'm telling you, I'm having group sessions, and it's always a problem because people always ask, "Can we join? We know nothing. We are not flexi. We have problems. We are old." Because most people in modern times, maybe in India it's a little more cultural because yoga is part of the belief in part of the country. It's really more basic. But in Western countries, most people will come to yoga because they have a problem. Maybe they are stressed, maybe they can't sleep, maybe they have a disease, maybe doctors send them, maybe they have high BP. They have a problem. So they want to come and they want to enjoy the results. And I always say, medicine and medical doctors are better than me. in solving your problem constantly and fastly. But if you want to really enjoy better health, you should come. And this is a thing in a group. People are coming, and always we have to emphasize it. It starts from us. Are we willing to be non-compatible in our expression of yoga? Are we willing to be really, in many ways, I would call it democratic in a way that allows every person to be part of the same group, even if he's not really made for an Instagram picture, even if he's not healthy and young and fit, and we cannot put him as an example to health if he looks really the opposite. Can we explain the general practice and help with, first of all, start with what you can't do because it's risky for you, and afterwards try and see what you can do, but always in the general term of the group. And people like it. People like it, and the people that have the guts to challenge this kind of practice, they really benefit out of this. Because, you know, as we become older, and I'm not young myself, young people give us inspiration. And for young people, some older people, they give them inspiration, and they can see, because when we are young, we always think we have to win, we have to be number one, we have to keep on the trace, we have to be healthy, we have to do that, and we get very sad when things doesn't happen to like we plan to do. And when people that are much older, they know, they have their experience. They know that life is not like in the books, you can do everything right and things might happen to be little different than your plans, right? So this is a very nice experience, and people can do it. And teachers has to be very experienced in order to hold it, in order to guide it, to flow it. But this is the real thing. This is my opinion and my understanding of mainly this yoga practice. I hope I answered a bit. You are with me?
Yes, sir, I do agree
Yes,
in some point.
Alvi, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Kuntal. Hello.
Yeah, hi. So I agree to you that people come only when they are in stress or they are sick. They do not come for the yoga just as a lifestyle to adapt it in their regular lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So, and even I like this example of your Hannah, that for 40 years she went to the same teachers and continued her practice despite of all challenges. So the thing is consistency. But nowadays what we see that people have that kind of a mindset. What I am observing, I'm not assuming, what I have come across, that people try to learn from different teachers, understanding that I'm missing something, and they feel that the other person is teaching better yoga. But what is yoga, they are not understanding. They are looking for something different kind of asana practice or different kind of stretches. But as a regular yoga practice, I believe that even if the same set of asana practice or same set of stretches, if you do continuously and consistently with the breath work and all that, that helps a lot.
Right. I totally agree, and this is our attitude now, because these days, as students, and some of us teach, we want, to be loved and popular, and we want big groups and everything. So we are trying to fit ourselves toward this kind of attitude, which is not always wrong, but we have to understand that if you want to teach the real essence of yoga, we have to remember it deeply inside ourselves, that the what we want to do is like really feel, practice something that is not changing, something that is really stays. World is changing. Everything is full of sensual expressions, and we are always being asked to run after them. But when you start your yoga class once a week or once a day or whenever you try to do it in a fixed date, like your fixed meeting. This is the time when you don't have to compare, you don't have to compete. You have to improve only in comparing to yourself, and you have to progress on a dimensional way, like it's physically and psychologically, and you have to work on your ego when you see some other people doing things that you can't do. And so what? And you see the teacher that is not showing you the best flexibility ability, even if he has it, because he's just being a model, or the model, if you have a model in the class. All these things we have to work about them. And today we have an industry of yoga teachers. It's like it's an industry. But yoga teachers should practice all these things for themselves. They have to keep on working about this, you can say, moral or basic things on themselves. It's not enough saying that yoga is not only asanas and knowing the philosophy by heart. Because yoga classes using asanas, pranayamas, and meditations are the expressive way of yoga in the modern way. So when we teach and practice yoga, we have to express it in the way that will express the original, as we see it, the original essence of this yoga way, of this yoga philosophy, using Hatha Yoga and yoga asanas. Okay, I hope I answered, Kuntal. Anyway, friends, if there are any matters I can answer now. If not, we'll just say I would just want to thank you for bearing this time with me. I know it's not an easy time in India, and on Sunday, and today is, as I was told, the World Meditation Day, and it might be hard. So thank you for joining, and all the best. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Namaste.